This is the Corner Boxing Podcast with Lee. So, put your gloves up.
Touching a lot to bands, you gotta wash your hands. I'm cooking up high demand, customers coming in fast. You don't wanna throw the hands, I got the gloves, you don't wanna dance.
Thank you guys for tuning in to my second boxing podcast, the Corner Boxing Podcast with Lee. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I want to thank you. I appreciate it, and I really hope you enjoy this podcast. And for those of you who may be tuning in for the second time, I really want to give you a special thanks for continuing to follow this podcast. Now, however, there seems to be a problem on YouTube where you can't leave a message on my wall, so I don't know what you guys are feeling, but you can reach me on other platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you know where? At the Corner Boxing Podcast with Lee. No spaces. Now, for the few of you guys who did reach out to me on Facebook, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Those words are so inspiring and uplifting, and sometimes even funny, like when my friend Danielle told me, Lee, save boxing. Well, Danielle, I cannot save boxing, but there are two guys out there who can, and that is Deontay Wilder and my boy Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and we're going to be talking about that right after these words from our sponsor.
Check it out.
Do you find yourself bored watching tennis? Or worse, playing tennis? Are you tired of your balls being too big for every crybaby court you step foot on? Huh? Then do I have the place for you, motherfucker? Here at Gentleman's Fury, we give you a healthy outlet for your aggressive instincts. So what you waiting on? Get your fat ass down to Houghton 5th on 12/23 at 2:23 p.m. That's right, son, in the afternoon. Can you handle the heat? Huh? Answer the question, jerk.
All right, guys, that's just a friendly reminder that summer is coming. So this is the time to get in the gym, get in there and do it now. Believe me, I wish I could. That's why I'm doing this, because I can't. So if you can, get your butt in the gym. So before we go any further, guys, I want you to know that going forward in this podcast, you're going to hear me talk and joke a lot about people being knocked out and violent things happening to people. But this is a boxing and an MMA podcast. These are combat sports. Violent things happen in these sports. But I want you to know, going forward, that there's two things that I never want to see happen when we talk about these knockouts. One is that the person that is being knocked out is me. And two, that no one gets hurt, seriously. All joking aside, I never want to see anyone get hurt in the sport of boxing or MMA. I love seeing people, I love seeing the knockouts, but I never want to see anyone get hurt. I just want to put that out there going forward. So whatever you guys hear me say about somebody getting beat up and knocked out, it's all in good fun. This podcast is strictly for fun, just to be silly and have a good time. So all right, guys, we all saw it Saturday night. It was a hell of a fight, just like I said it was going to be. Now, we might want to address the pink elephant in the room, which is I did predict a third round knockout. Clearly that didn't happen. Clearly Deontay did not win the fight. But let's take just a quick look at this fight and see actually what happened. The heavyweight division is back for the first time in a long, long time. Now I went to one of my favorite sports bars with my girl to watch this fight. And I talked to this young Latino brother, and he was telling me that he's a huge boxing fan, and he was 24 years old, and that this was the first major heavyweight fight in his life. And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? He's right, because the last major fight of this type was Leonard Lewis and Mike Tyson, and that was some years ago. Okay, so what happened in this fight? Well, Tyson came out and did just like he said he was going to do. He whooped his ass. And nobody seen this coming. Not only me, nobody seen this coming. And to my surprise, what I thought he should do was come in and work the jab, work the body, set up the overhand right, and slowly, methodically beat him down and take him late into the fight and take him out. But apparently Tyson Fury had a plan that he knew would work. I didn't see it, but it worked. Now I wasn't aware that Tyson's weight was up to 275. I probably should have been, but he brought a lot of power with that weight. But to be honest, I would have still picked him to lose this fight because I would have thought that weight would have slowed him down and gave Dante an even better chance of catching him.
Compared to what he did in the first fight, big right hand!
But now if you look at that first podcast, you'll see that the way he beat him is kind of doing some of the things that I said he should do. Like he did use his jab and he did use his movement. But he did a lot better than I thought he would do. Apparently Tyson knew that he could get in close and still stay out of the way and beat him down. And he was hitting him with some brutally hard shots.
With very entertaining ring walks. A right hand! What?
By the second round, he busted up the air. The eardrum was all shattered. His equilibrium was off, and I told my girl the fight was over. And there was a lot of people complaining about the stoppage of this fight. I think it was a great stoppage. Could have came around sooner for my liking. I felt bad for the man. I didn't think he had much opportunity to win this fight, and there's just no reason for anyone to be complaining. Most of all, Deontay Wilder. Now, it's my understanding that he had made a comment that he may not have Mark in this corner for his next fight. But let me tell you something, Mr. Wilder. Mark is a former champion who has knocked people out and been knocked out. He knows exactly what the situation was he was in, and it was not good. And the best thing you could do is have someone in your corner that is going to look out for your best interest and not your record. To get rid of this man would be a huge mistake. Now, you might want to get somebody in there who can teach you how to use that jab. You know, I really felt bad for Deontay because, you know, I'm a big fan, so I don't just watch the fight. I watch the pre-fight hype, the fight, the post-fight hype, all that stuff. So I was up all night watching this stuff. And, you know, after the fight, my man Deontay was in the locker room laying on the bed, and his ear was bleeding. He was trying to get it stitched up to stop the blood flow to get him to the hospital. It was just not a good thing. I don't like to see any fight in that situation after the fight. So it was kind of rough to see that for my man. I like Deontay and I like Tyson Fury. So it was just an unfortunate situation. And for Deontay, I hope he recovers from that well. And some of you may know that Deontay Wilder has came out and made an issue with the outfit or costume he wore out, whichever you want to call it. And many people seem to take issue with that. But there's no way I could prove this, but I actually told my girl when he took that helmet off that he looked like he just walked out of a sauna. And I was telling her, I said, sometimes I done seen where costumes has actually had an effect on the outcome of the fight. So I watched a lot of sports shows since this fight, boxing podcast. I done seen probably a little bit of them all, and I've seen everybody giving their opinion as to what Deontay Wilder did wrong in this fight. But I agree with most of them for the most part. But the number one thing that I think he did wrong, the number one mistake that he did wrong, nobody's talking about. And the number one mistake that Deontay Wilder did wrong that cost him this fight was he didn't watch my podcast. Because if he did, he would have clearly heard me tell him, don't take your ass in there throwing no wild ass punches. But you see what happened? He didn't watch the show. This is what happened. Mr. Wilder, next time, watch this podcast, save your ass and watch this cast. So as I sign out of here tonight, please stick around for this hot video coming out from this young man by the name of A.G. Fernandaz, and it's called 47 Time. That's going to do it this time, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and you know what to do if you did. You press that like button and click subscribe. And like always, if you didn't, you know what to do too. Click that down button. It ain't going to cost you nothing to help a brother out, okay? Now, Till next time, please stay safe, be happy, have fun, and remember, always keep your chin down and your gloves up when you are in the corner with Lee.
Look, I'ma get it back one time, I'ma get it back 2 times. I'ma get it back 3 times, I'ma get it back 4 times, 4-7. I've been working all day, 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, thinking about it, gotta get it. They been sleeping on me, I'ma wake them while they're dreaming. Give them nightmares, I'ma catch them like a demon. I'ma get it back 1 time, I'ma get it back 2 times. I'ma get it back 3 times, I'ma get it back 4 times, 4-7. I've been working all day, 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, thinking about it, I'm gon' get it. They been sleeping on me, I'ma wake them while they're dreaming. Give them nightmares, I'ma catch them like a demon. Yeah. The demons are lurking, I see them arise. The green means to go, but there's red in my eyes. I need to stop, baby, reflect. Count me a check, counting the cake. So many birthdays, I don't know the day. What is my, look, what is my age? AGB going through all of these phases. See, I be needing to blaze. Fiji the wrist, cause it's time for the wave. Cause it's age. I'ma get it back 1 time, I'ma get it back 2 times. I'ma get it back 3 times, I'ma get it back 4 times, 4-7. I've been working all day, 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, thinking about it, gotta get it. They been sleeping on me, I'ma wake them while they're dreaming. Give them nightmares, I'ma catch them like a demon. I'ma get it back 1 time, I'ma get it back 2 times. I'ma get it back 3 times, I'ma get it back 4 times, 4-7. I've been working all day, 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, thinking about it, gotta get it. They be sleeping on me, I'ma wake them while they're dreaming. Give them nightmares, I'ma catch them like a demon. Tell Chuck I'ma get to the cheese. I'm getting better with these. No, I'm getting better with these. Tell Chuck I'ma get to the cheese. Dog and dirty, man, look at these fleas. Huh, yeah, damn it, I'm fleas. I gotta get to the trees. I'm palming the money. Sonic dashing through the rings, I'ma run it up. I don't really use the Bing, I'ma Google it. See you looking googly eyes, I maneuver it. Look what I do with this. You look little like stewardess. Look in my eyes, see my energy. Laser eyes burning my enemies. Killing them all, just a rest in peace. Hey, I'ma get it back 1 time. I'ma get it back 2 times. I'ma get it back 3 times. Yeah, I'ma get it back 4 times, 4-7. I've been working all day, 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, thinking about it, gotta get it. They been sleeping on me, I'ma wake them while they're dreaming. Give them nightmares, I'ma catch them like a demon. I'ma get it back 1 time, I'ma get it back 2 times. I'ma get it back 3 times, I'ma get it back 4 times, 4-7. I've been working all day, 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, thinking about it, gotta get it. They been sleeping on me, I'ma wake them while they're dreaming. Give them nightmares, I'ma catch them like a demon.